Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.
We hope you enjoy listening to this podcast of St. Louis on the Air, brought to you by University College at Washington University, with undergraduate and graduate programs part-time, evening, and online. University College at Washington University, offering world-class education within reach.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. Like so many organizations, including our own, this is a time to look back over the past year, a review. Our friends at Sauce Magazine are in the same mode and have come up with their list of best restaurants of 2018. Joining me in studio to go over that list, managing editors Heather Hughes and Catherine Klene, and art director Meera Nagarajan. Thank you all so much for being with us. Hope you're ready for the holidays.
Get in there.
Okay, we've got a lot of ground to cover in a fairly limited amount of time. What are the criteria that you have established for the best restaurants this year? Catherine, we'll start with you.
Sure. So the main rules for Best New Restaurants are they had to be open between November 1st, 2017 and November 1st, 2018. So one calendar year, effectively. The majority of what we ate and drank at these restaurants had to be memorable and delicious. The restaurant had to offer something unique to the St. Louis dining scene, something that sort of set them apart, bumped them up a little bit from a similar concept. The execution has to demonstrate technical skill and consistency. Not only did you do it well, but could you repeat that? Could you do it again? It wasn't a one-off experience. And then obviously the atmosphere needed to be pleasant, friendly, and the service needed to be inviting. We needed to feel like the hospitality was really strong at these places. At the end of the day, we really just want to know, how badly do we want to go back to these restaurants? How many people in our own personal lives are we telling, go here, try this? And all of these 9 restaurants really hit those marks.
Okay, Heather, let's not keep people in suspense. Who has the list?
Number 1 restaurant this year is Louis in Des Moines. It is a Italian-American neighborhood restaurant, so it's not as trend-focused as a lot of the places that have topped our list before, like Publico or Vicia in the past. But it is one that was completely unanimous this year. Everyone in the office were like, okay, well, we know it's Louis, so we started with that. This is a restaurant from restaurateur Matt McGuire, who has been in the restaurant industry in St. Louis forever. Like I said, it's not super trendy, but it feels like the culmination of everything that he's learned in his time working in restaurants. It just feels really dialed in, really tight. In service, food, bar, everything is just really high level. And it sort of has a timeless feel, like it's very stylish. Everything's in very good taste. I'm being very vague. The food is also delicious. The ravioli, again, unanimous, is unbelievable. That's seasonal. So the sweet corn in the summer and then the sweet potato now are both some of our favorite dishes of the year.
The broccolini.
The vegetables.
The pizzas. Cauliflower. I mean, like, you could really go through the whole menu, and each of us has a favorite from every section. But I love the quote in the story where he says, it's not a business transaction, you're taking care of people. And I think, in my experience and many people I've talked to, they just feel like they're really welcomed when they come to the restaurant and they feel important. And I think above the menu and the drinks and everything, it's that feeling that makes you want to go back, in my opinion.
It's both very special and very comfortable at the same time. This is where I went for my engagement dinner. It's like it is a very special place to
the hospitality there. We talk about the hospitality and the service. I think that's what really sets it apart. The food is amazing, and if we were just judging on the food alone with these restaurants, maybe there would be some more neck and neck races. But the hospitality here just really takes it over the top.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure they're very pleased to find themselves at the top of the list.
I hope so.
What are some of the others? I think there are 9 of them overall, right?
Yes,
that you selected.
The second second best restaurant was Billie Jean this year. This is Zoe Robinson's new restaurant, another seasoned restaurateur.
Another Zoe restaurant.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's right on the same street, Y down, as E. Fratellini and Bar La Frere, which she also owns. And like those two, this is the height of style. Our writer, Matt Sorrell, said it feels like you're in New York when in this place, whereas E. Fratellini's Italian and Bar La Frere's French. This feels very big city. Everything is black. The walls are black. They have these beautiful black on white prints by the abstract impressionist Robert Motherwell. It's just like very fine taste as well as like Louis, but
Nothing's quite so
different.
festive as black, right?
It's my
very
favorite
popular.
color.
Very trendy right now.
It's my
Like
favorite color. It looks
dark
good
black
on everyone and
interiors.
everything.
Another place with really excellent service, and again, the food here is unbelievable. My favorite thing eating there was the whole snapper, and when I ate there, it came with a salsa verde that had lime leaf and cilantro, and it's just totally tender, totally sweet. It was perfectly cooked. It's the same level that you'd expect from other Zoe restaurants, but it feels more her. It's like new and fresh and super stylish. So yeah, that's number two.
Another, we had a couple of seasoned restaurant veterans make this list this year. Gerard Kraft opened Cinder House at the Four Seasons, and that was another one that landed on our list this year. And this is what I wrote, that this is what happens when one of St. Louis' fanciest hotels has the renovation budget and Gerard Kraft comes in. It is a chic restaurant. It feels very luxurious. It feels very Four Seasons. And it's a really great restaurant. It's actually a tribute to his childhood nanny. Her name was Dia, and she was South American, and so the restaurant really leans toward that Brazilian South American bent, without being like a direct South American Brazilian restaurant. It's got some accents to it, but it's really Gerard Kraft doing it. And so we really like the dishes there. Obviously, meat is done very well at Brazilian steakhouses. That's what they're really known for. So meat is done very well. There's a great dry aged steak selection.
The lamb ribs are awesome.
The lamb ribs are awesome. There's a traditional Brazilian dish called feijoada, which is sort of a beef and bean and meat stew. The Gerard sort of does his take on it with like 5 different meat preparations, and it's wonderful. But Meera is actually vegetarian and really liked the vegetarian dishes.
The vegetarian dishes there were so wonderful. There was a mushroom dish that they did with like hen of the woods and this chorizo seasoned butter on top of these little, I think, potato puree. And but I thought it was so nice because he had described it like it was an old niche dish that they kind of revived and retooled a little bit for the restaurant. And then there was another dish, an heirloom carrot dish with a carrot mole.
That was a side, but it was so good.
Yeah, but I thought, at a place like that, you may feel limited to bring people who are pescatarian or vegan or vegetarian, but there certainly were a range of dietary options there, which was unexpected and very, very nice.
He's a very versatile guy, obviously, isn't he?
Absolutely. And he's got a really great team of people. I think that's why his restaurants are so successful, is because he puts the right people in place to run the day-to-day operations, too. Chef Michael Fricker was there before, and he's sort of the exec chef for this place now. And they've really worked closely together to get the wood-fired cooking down to an art and really present the best foot forward.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Absolutely.
I have no question. No question about it. Okay, let's move on.
Another one, sort of well-known place, Ben Paremba, who owns Olio and Elia and Neekstead down there in Botanical Heights. He's really sort of conquered that neighborhood as far as restaurant ownership. He recently opened the Benevolent King in Maplewood, and this is another small, dramatic, stylish restaurant.
Lots of black
and
gold.
Gold mirrors, and it's sort of Moroccan-inspired without necessarily, again, being a direct Moroccan restaurant. But the things that are really cool, this is where we were talking about, we would go here a lot for like sort of drinks and snacks. The dishes are meant to be small and shareable, and they're all done very, very well. It's a very tiny kitchen, like 3 people in it. But then the cocktail program by Tony Saputo is just really top-notch. Every drink that we've had there has been a really complex, nuanced drink. It tastes different when you start than when you finish, and that's the sign of just a really well thought out cocktail program.
Well, I thought what was so interesting about him is, like, I've heard from so many bartenders that say, limiting your cocktail ingredients to 3 to 4 is ideal because it's easier to balance it and everything kind of has its every ingredient plays its flavor role. But with Tony's cocktails, I noticed some of them have like 8, 9 ingredients in it. But
and
they
he's
all
making half of them.
Yeah, but they all serve a purpose. It's not just for having this flashy menu writing. It's really intentional, and I think he does such a great job of making each ingredient have a purpose.
And it's hard to do that well.
And the food is not outshone by the cocktails. The food stands in its own right. I mean, there's a simple dish of just marinated tomatoes that are some of the best tomatoes I've had this year. And it's really quality ingredients, very simple preparation, but done perfectly.
So if you like oleo, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah,
it's sort of
definitely.
adjacent to that.
Another place that's gotten a lot of attention, and we've mentioned it a couple of times in our get-togethers here, is Yellow Belly. That's hit the ground running, didn't it?
That was our number 3 restaurant. So we were chatting with Tim Wiggins, who is a part owner there and also at Retreat, gastropub in the Central West End. And we were so excited about it, and we were chit-chatting, and we were like, who's going to be the chef? And we were just talking to him about, all their preparations. And he said him and co-owner Travis Howard just picked the ideal chef that they wanted and just called him up to see if he would do it. And that was Richard Blaze, who was a Top Chef All-Stars winner. And he has his own restaurant group, and he came on as a consultant. And so if you're a Top Chef fan, he loves like liquid nitrogen and all these like molecular gastronomy kind of techniques. And you can see that in the menu. And the menu, it's like tropical. And I love saying this because I said it a lot during the whole process of writing Best New Restaurants it's equally yoked. The drinks menu and the food menu, they're just both so strong. It would be impossible to decide which one is better. There's a coconut cake, avocado toast, tuna poke, and then all the cocktails, we've all had them. Like there's a millennial pink cocktail with like peach and rum and bitter. It's very fresh and bright. Lots of like fruit flavors and Southeast Asian influences in some of the dishes too.
A lot of really strong beverage programs this year. Like I mean, food is sort of the first and foremost when you go out to eat, but the beverage programs have all been very strong in a lot of the restaurants we went to this year, and it really shows.
Yeah. All righty, moving along. I don't know, we've covered most of them, but I see the Clover and the Bee is on there.
I love the Clover and the Bee. So the Clover and the Bee is in Webster Groves. It's next door to sister restaurant Olive and Oak, which was on our list 3 years ago. It's still incredibly popular in Webster Groves.
Slammed every weekend.
Still slammed. You have to make a reservation. It's nuts. Clover and the Bee started as a breakfast and lunch spot, but they recently not recently, I guess a few months ago, they added dinner service. And we went like last month, I think, a few of us did, and we were just blown away by what they were doing there. The atmosphere is a little more relaxed than Olive and Oak. It's a little more casual. It's not quite as packed. You can walk in and get a table. At least we could on a Wednesday. But the food is just as good. It's just as delicious. It's just as complex. It's got a little bit of an Italian influence. We really liked the bucatini carbonara. There's a simple braised lamb dish that really surprised us. And there's this pesto pistachio goat cheese dip thing that is just out of this world.
You don't expect a dip to be your favorite thing after going out for dinner. And they had great pasta and everything. This was the very best thing.
Oh, I love their eggplant parmesan. I just went over the weekend and I was able to walk in and all the like Italian dishes, the eggplant parmesan, there was a spicy rigatoni, and I felt like our server had really great knowledge of the wine list. It was clear he had tasted everything, and he was able to recommend a good, affordable bottle that went with everything that we had ordered.
That is something. When they switched to the dinner menu, they expanded their bar. They built it out a little bit more and had the focus shift there a little bit more than when they were a daytime restaurant. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Have we covered all 9?
We're missing 3. We'll hit the last 3 real quick.
Yeah, we've got 3 minutes left.
3 minutes.
1 minute each.
Heather, frankly, go.
Okay. 2, I'll talk about 2 that were some of my favorites. Frankly on Cherokee, you might recognize that name from the Frankly Sausages food truck. It's the same owners, Bill and Jamie Cawthon. It's super simple. It's just those sausages, the best fries in the world, which we've talked about before. But they've expanded the menu a little bit with a burger that blew me away. It challenged Max Local Eats as my favorite burger in the city, which is took a lot of doing. Amazing chicken wings, dry rubbed. They're double star chicken. The attention to ingredients is unreal, and the execution. You can just see Bill Cawthon's background. He's an excellent person in the industry. He's so good. That's on Cherokee Street. And then another that I wanted to talk about is Savage. This is in Fox Park. It is a tasting menu restaurant, so you can get 12 or 6 courses or a smaller snacks menu. And they're just little tasting courses, very small bites, so you can get a lot of them. And this is by Chef Logan Ely, who we spoke about before we had him in for the Square One project that he was a part of. He's just one of the most interesting chefs in St. Louis right now to watch, I think. His focus on fermentation and really interesting techniques to make food that's unlike anything you've tasted before, but it's made out of like turnips or something much more familiar.
A minute left. I don't want to interrupt, but
Mira's
got the last one on
the
list.
Okay.
Let's do that quickly, Meera, because you want to get in a pitch for a reader's survey
Sure.
as well.
Need Bakehouse and Provisions. It's in Lindenwood Park. Think breakfast, lunch. My favorite thing that I had there was the everything bagel kolache, which is basically like an everything bagel bomb with cream cheese stuffed inside. Grilled cheese, where the cheese is on the inside and toasted on the outside. They have a great bakery where you can buy a loaf of bread, take it to go. Good coffee. I mean, it's a great, quick lunch spot, really cute inside. It's wonderful.
Quickly, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All these restaurants are in our December issue, which is online at saucemagazine.com. We have a People's Choice poll going on right now on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search for Sauce Magazine, go to our photos. We have a whole album. You can vote for your favorite. The poll closes this Friday. The one with the most votes wins.
We'll put information on our website so folks can get at it quickly. Catherine Klene, thank you so much for being with us. Heather Hughes, thank you for being with us. Meera Nagarajan, thank you for being with us. Happy holidays to all of you.
Happy holidays.
Plenty of places to go to get something good to eat. Now we know. Thank you. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.